Hello, welcome to Tasty Pastries by Nick. Today we will be making French macarons, a very elegant and regal dessert. Perfect for weddings, get-togethers, or to impress your friends. There are 3 types of macarons we will be making today: champagne, raspberry, and green tea. We will be starting by making the fillings for each of the macarons because they need to refrigerate. We'll be starting with the raspberry first. You will need 300 grams of raspberries. Make sure you wash your raspberries to ensure cleanliness. 80 grams of sugar and 40 grams of pectin, which acts as a jam thickener. Now we are going to dissolve the sugar with a little bit of water over low heat. This will help create the base for the jam. You need to make sure that the water almost looks clear, and this is very important because if you do not follow this step correctly, the whole jam might not turn out. Now that the sugar has dissolved into the water, we are going to add the 300 grams of raspberries and stir for 2 to 3 minutes until the raspberries dissolve. This will make it taste very good, and it will add a great flavor when complemented with the delicious almond macarons. Now we are going to add the pectin. This will thicken the jam, and then we will let it set in the refrigerator for a couple hours. I'm going to stir this in, and then you're going to also stir this for about 3 to 5 minutes until the jam begins to thicken. The jam has began to thicken and has started to be brought to a boil. So I will let it cook for about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I will refrigerate it and we can begin the next filling. See, if I stop stirring, it will begin to bubble. If you leave it for too long, it may begin to burn, so it is very important that you continuously stir the mixture while it is cooking. This is a very versatile jam. If you would prefer to have it without seeds, all you need to do is just strain it before, but I personally like it. You are going to place the finished jam into a pot, which we will then put into the refrigerator until set. I am now going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it into the refrigerator to cool. We are now going to start on the green tea filling. You will need 3 eggs, and you will need to separate the yolks from the whites. Make sure that you save the whites because you will be using them when we make the macaron base. You crack the egg on an even surface because if you do not, the shell may cave in and cause it to do something. And then you're going to crack it in half so you have 2 shells, and you're going to slowly move the yolk to each side of the shell, letting the white drip down into the bowl, and then you place the yolk into another bowl. You will also need 20 grams of sugar, and you are going to add that into your yolks. We are going to add the sugar to the egg yolks and whisk until it is thick and pale. Make sure you do not overbeat it, because that could result in some scary consequences. Now we also need to get 10 grams of flour and add that along with the custard powder and green tea powder. We're now going to add the flour, custard powder, or you can also substitute it with cornstarch. And we're also going to add the flavor of this 1 teaspoon of green tea powder. We're now going to whisk until well combined. We are now going to boil 250 milliliters of milk with 40 grams of sugar. Now that the milk is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and add that to the egg yolk mixture. We are now going to add the vanilla extract into it and mix. We are now going to bring this back onto the stove over low heat, and we're going to bring it to a boil, stirring constantly with a whisk. This is a very important step in the process. So what I have here is a bowl filled with water and ice. So it is considered an ice water bath. And then I have a bowl floating in it and then a strainer over it. I am going to put the mixture through the strainer, and so all the chunks come out of it. And then we are going to continuously stir this until it cools. Get a spatula and push the mixture to the edges where it will begin to go on the outside. Then you can scoop it out and put it into the bowl. I'm now placing plastic wrap over the green tea filling, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. We are now going to heat the champagne and cream over low in a saucepan. I am now stirring this, and I'm going to stir it until there are little bubbles around the edge of the pan. Break the white chocolate into a little bowl. I am now going to turn off the heat and pour this over the white chocolate. And then mix until fully incorporated. I'm now going to cover it with plastic wrap and place it in the refrigerator. Now that all the fillings are complete, we are going to take a short break to let them cool in the refrigerator before we start making our macarons. I'm going to start by measuring out 400 grams of almond meal or flour. I'm going to now take the 400 grams of almond flour and pass it through a sieve, which looks like this, also commonly known as a strainer. This is to make sure that there's no uneven chunks while making the macarons. It's a very important step. After I sieve this, I'm going to do the same thing with 400 grams of powdered sugar and then just mix it together in the bowl.